Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel, and we are joined by Marian. Marian, how are you?
Hi, I'm very good. It's so lovely to meet you and to be on the show again.
Welcome back. Now, we are talking about, this topic that many people go through, that we have friends or family or loved ones that go through illnesses or accidents and all these different types of things. And it occurred to me that we as initiates that are walking this path of progression, we use the tools kind of like a second nature, if you like, and we just apply them. We go, and we use them and we get really good results. And so I thought I wanted to cover this topic because I know there's many people out there in the world that are struggling. They're really struggling, perhaps in these situations, or not knowing what decisions to make and such like. So I would love to hear your experience, Marian. Have rituals and energy healings helped you in particular situations such as this?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak about this. Personally, the rituals, the energy healings from our tradition and the Modern Mystery School and Lynch of King Solomon, they have helped me literally every day and also through disease and illnesses. But also I have used them to help others as well. Um, Personally, um, for example, what comes to my mind is the galactic activation. Particularly, I've done this in 2020 in London, and I remember after galactic activation, any illness, if it is a cold, a flu, it didn't have this grab on me, not such more grip anymore. And what usually would have taken me maybe a week or sometimes two to recover was like in 2 days, 3 days max. That was huge. It was almost like I have received a new body. That was very resistance against illness, so I could walk through life with more stabilized health. I remember this particularly, but also the daily rituals from Empower Thyself initiation, where I can call in healing, help by the angels and archangels, or the Chi-Do is something that I use literally almost every day. And I remember I think it was the first day after my Empower Thyself around over 6 years ago. And on a Monday, I went to work and I had some pain in my throat. I was like, oh my goodness. Well, let's try to call in this archangel. I have learned something in Empower Itself that they can support healing. So I called in this archangel, and literally within minutes, the pain was gone. And it was so smooth in my throat. And I was I was texting my guy. I was like, oh my God, that's so incredible. Like I did this and it's gone. And so these are like little miracles that I can now live by every day. And this is so amazing. And right now I'm still recovering from a flu. I think I got it from the airplane last week. And when I do Chi-Do, I feel so much better. Just after like 10 minutes of Chi-Do, I feel more energized and I can go on with my daily activities and duties.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing point that you make, is that these tools, rituals, initiations, activations, really do change the way that we respond to illness and disease and viruses. I have noticed that also. And I think if we did ask across the board, for sure, the way that we are able to, some of us, we still get colds and coughs, or, all these different types of things. But I think what you described is perfectly, it doesn't take us down. Like it's, we're able to move it and shift it in a way that perhaps we weren't beforehand. So I have also noticed that as well. And of course,
Mm.
the galactic pieces is very important for that. Have you noticed, Marian, if using, if you've been in a situation where friends or family have been unwell or something, have you noticed that, if the tools have helped you to be more centered in your decision making, or perhaps you've been able to assist them? Of course, again, disclaimer, we're not saying not to have any medical treatment, but we're saying in addition to support.
Yes, yes. I mean, being more centered is what these tools really help me with, regardless what is going on the outside world. And I had, like, for instance, my parents, they had sickness, diseases of various kinds throughout the years, from also having a cold or flu, but also to like something like almost like a chronic back pain that my father has, um, or sometimes like very strong headache. And um, when I visit them, it's so good when I can be in my center. So, and I always do my rituals in the morning, and then I go on with my day, and it helps me to discern better and to be also have more capacity within, more energy available to support my loved ones around me. And this is so important for me to have cleared that space within, so I can be better there for my family and my friends and my loved ones. So this is a huge piece to me. Um, I have also learned in our tradition different methods of energy healing. Some like crystal healing from sacred geometry level 2, um, and Sophic Reiki, um, and all these fantastic tools from Healers Academy too, as well, and the life activation. And I remember my parents at the beginning, they were so skeptical. Like, what are you doing? Is this like, is this worth it, etc. But they, it went unnoticed in a way. I was just going on, and I followed the path, and I went through my changes. And at one point, at Christmas, my parents gifted me like a plinth, like a massage table, because that was their way to support my path. It's like, that's interesting. So they were not supporting it with words, but then they were gifting me. It's like, wow. And a bit later, I was my mother got sick, and I came back from Toronto having the tools from Healers Academy to the Meridian healings, and I practiced immediately on my mother. I think it was on the left arm. There were some meridians that were perfect for this. I cannot bring it up what it was again anymore. I think she had a big headache and felt very, very weak. And so I started to press these points, and she got a bit nauseous. She didn't fall or so, but she got a bit nauseous. But then after a few minutes, she felt so much better. And she told me she felt a bit dizzy, but then yeah, she felt, I could see her now, she could have so much more energy. And yeah,
It's so special, isn't it, when we're able to just do for our close family and friends, in those moments. So like, it's fine, we've got something to help and we've got something to support in those immediate moments if we're there, or, and what have you, or it's just such a special feeling, isn't it, to be able to do that for a family member, I think. I mean, goodness.
100%.
I always bring my nan up because, just because she wasn't very, no, she's always been open-minded. That wouldn't be fair to say, but she'd never really experienced anything like this before. So it wasn't like she was anti it. It was just that oh, what's this? And she noticed such a difference. So that's, for me, it's like, oh, somebody who was kind of very wary perhaps of experiencing something out of the ordinary for her, and then seeing the results. And you're right, it is so special when our family supports us, and it doesn't have to be by words. It's just knowing that we can perhaps do something for them in those hours. So yeah, that is wonderful. I would encourage anybody to definitely do Healers Academy, Sacred Geometry 2, just to have that in your pocket alone. And if you can get to Healers Academy level 2, then even more amazing. But having those tools in your pocket is so good, isn't it?
It is. It is. And it's so handy because we can apply them immediately. Sacred Geometry 2, just these crystals, it's like they're in my pocket. And I travel with them anywhere.
Yeah.
And I can be there of help. I remember, like, and we have so many tools that we can, like Anthropic Reiki. It's literally just me that I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I remember when Harry was little, he would, sometimes, when he was having those moments where it was all getting a bit much for him because he was little, it was Ensofic that I would apply, and he would always ask for that. He would always say, oh, can you just do that
wow.
for me? Yeah. So he really, the children as well, just, if your parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, whatever, having these tools is so amazing.
Yes. I remember my dad had it's a few months ago, he couldn't really recover from, I think it was a flu as well. And he had a long recovery period, and I visited my parents in Germany, and then I freshly came from learning Anthropic Reiki, so I started to apply it on his head. It was just a 15-20 minute session, and my dad is the biggest skeptic. Like like he was so skeptical until nothing from conventional medicine helped anymore with his diseases. And then he said, like, because I was going through life, I was okay, let's try acupuncture. Okay, wow, what is that? Reiki? Okay, let's try this. And I was told, okay, let's try this. And then nothing else helped anymore. So he literally was waving the white flag and said, okay, let's bring it on. Whatever will help, let's bring it on. And so he opened up to these alternative methods. And after years, I said, okay, let's try the Anthropic Reiki. And he said, okay, let's do it. So I started, and after 20 minutes, he slowly got up from his sofa and started to go outside in the garden. My parents have like a little garden, and he started to do things, like started being active. And my mother was all the time in the living room. She was observing it silently, and she looked at me like, oh, what's going on? Like, and she was like, I'm not. It was a bit of a situation like, I think he's not aware that it has worked. But it worked. She could see it because she observed him for weeks being inactive on the sofa. And now he was just going out, taking these items from his toolbox. And it's like, wow.
Oh, it's wonderful. Marian, thank you so much for sharing all those lovely stories and those moments. I know that will resonate with a lot of people out there. Just having these tools and being ready to go in any situation is just such a support for our friends, family, and for us, So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. And now, if somebody was wanting to get in touch with you, Marian, and have a chat, how would they do that?
Yes, I have a website. It's called www.com. www.marianbarno.com. And
No.
I'm in Dublin, Ireland. And yeah, I've literally so many more stories, like even the life activation, how it cured like shingles literally overnight in a person. They had like a they came to me. It was a friend of parents of my parents, and my parents were the ones sending them to me. Funny enough, and she had cancer. She had a cancer treatment and many treatments, and because her immunity was so down, she developed shingles. And then she came to me asking me if I can do something. I said, okay, let's do the life activation. I think it's the
Yeah.
best thing. If we don't see each other anymore, it's the best thing ever. And literally the next day it was gone. And that was incredible.
It's miracle stuff, isn't it? It's miracle stuff. I mean, I know we can never promise anything, but at the same time, we never know what's actually going to come about. So, you and I think most of us have seen miracles time and time and time again.
Yeah.
Too many to kind of just push to one side and say, oh, it happens too often for it to be a coincidence.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Marian. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to get in touch with Marian, then you have his website up there. So feel free to get in touch.
Thank you so much. It was my Kate for this opportunity. Wishing you a good day.
And good, yes, and you, Marian, and good night, everyone. Good night.
Bye.